Good afternoon. My name is Abid Inamullah. I study in AMC, which is also known as American National College. Right now, I'm doing my Australian foundation, and this is a presentation that I'm supposed to do regarding that. The topic which I chose is coronavirus, which in recent times is known as COVID 19. COVID is derived from the Latin word "roth", and 19 is since it re-originated in 2019. The reason I chose this topic is because people are still not educated up to date regarding COVID-19 and its background. As mentioned before, coronavirus, that is also known as COVID-19, it is a single strand of RNA virus which was identified back in 1931. It was identified by two scientists known as Koch and Horn. These two individuals actually found COVID in chicks, baby chickens. There are lots of varieties of COVID, but it has been segregated into four that are known as alpha, beta, gamma, and last delta. Until recent times, it was only alpha and beta that were introduced and known to the world, but recently even delta has come out, and it has been known that delta is the worst out of all four of them. Until recent times, alpha and beta was the one that was spreading around the entire world. However, back in 2019, when COVID reappeared, the reason as to why COVID reappeared is still unknown. However, there are lots of speculations starting from WHO, which is also known as World Health Organization, that their lab, which is in Wuhan, is the one that released the virus. However, news channels have spread it out saying that a man ate a bat and that's how COVID spread. Right now, Delta came out. It is considered the worst out of all four of these viruses. And people have speculated that COVID is fake. But according to all the news channels around the world and how it was printed out from Wuhan, they, in order to cover up that WHO released this virus, they told that a man had eaten a bat, which is the reason as to why COVID spread. According to a general in the army in US, he stated that the new version, which is COVID-19, is actually a bioweapon that has been enhanced by WHO to cripple the economy of the world. As I mentioned before, COVID cripples the economy. However, I would like to move on from that and go to what is COVID similar to. COVID is very similar to influenza. They share almost everything that is extremely similar, from no symptoms at all to symptoms starting from fever, shortness of breath, fatigueness, many more. And the only difference between influenza and COVID is that COVID is much more severe, and COVID has long lasting effects compared to influenza. Next, I would like to move on to what is COVID doing to the society. Ever since the introduction of COVID, the entire economy has shut down, from stock markets to schools to educational centers, religious centers, to much more. Mainly affecting people's life, mainly affecting children's life and adults as well. Children are supposed to enjoy their life, go out, play with their friends, just live life. Whereas adults are supposed to go work, get to know more about society, interact with other adults in order to have more information, become better parents, and much more. But COVID is affecting it all. Parents and other individuals don't gather anymore. There are no more parties. There are no trips. It's as in not completely no, but there are barely any trips, and schools are closed. On the other hand, we have the poor people, or you can call them the low income earners. They have lost their jobs, and job security has decreased in other terms. Due to this loss of jobs, the GDP of our country has decreased by at least 40%. Low income earners earn on a day-to-day basis, and without them earning this amount, they cannot support their family. Before you would see 10 to 20 beggars on the road, now it has increased to 50 to 100. Governments are unable to support them as they are also facing a financial crisis. So as you can see, COVID is ruining the society completely. However, there is one country that overcame COVID extremely quickly, and it is New Zealand. It is under Australia, and New Zealand recovered from COVID very quickly because as soon as they heard their first COVID case, they shut down the entire country as they did not want it to spread out even more. They imposed the travel restriction, they imposed people coming, they closed down the borders in other terms. And due to that, people couldn't leave with COVID to other countries and they couldn't bring in more COVID. So they controlled it, and within 2 to 3 months they controlled it completely. Next, I would like to talk about which sector is profiting the most from COVID. The sector that's profiting the most is the tertiary sector. This is because they find a way throughout whatever is happening to somehow earn cash. For example, the medical sector, they are earning by treating us. The hospitality sector is earning, like they have all moved to online business, which is easy. Whereas, like I told, the daily workers, they can't just move to online because you can't do much online. Like the caretakers, they have to go to someone's house, but people are afraid to bring in more individuals to their house as they are afraid of COVID. Next, I would like to tell how we can overcome COVID. If our country, our government had decided to shut down the country just like New Zealand, I think we would have been able to control it. Right now, there has been above 5 million deaths in the world. All that could have, right now it has been counted more than 5 million deaths and 25 million cases. Way more than that actually, we cannot be certain yet because it's impossible to get a proper count. So, the way we can overcome it is having a social distance. No offense to countries like Sri Lanka, India, but the people there do not tend to listen to the rules. As in, there is a 6 feet gap that is supposed to happen, but you would see people without masks just on the road roaming around and waiting. This is why COVID spreads. COVID spreads within a 1 meter gap. So at least that should be understood by people, and they should keep more than a 2 meter, 3 meter gap to be safe. Better safe than sorry. People still gather a lot. They go to parties, they get together. They are not afraid of COVID. But when you see the death count, I'm sure they will be shocked. But no one bothers going and checking the death count and stuff like that. Recently, in order to cure COVID, they brought in vaccinations and vaccines like AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and many more. But not every country accepts that particular vaccine. For example, Australia, they only want people using Pfizer or AstraZeneca, not the other types. Whereas UK is okay to anything. Canada, they just need one vaccination minimum, and there are much more requirements like that everywhere. But this is all marketing, as we all know. However, as we all think vaccines were made recently in order to battle this, but there was a photo that was circulating recently which showed that AstraZeneca was made back in 2018. That is before COVID reappeared. So you all can know what I'm talking about, as in it's all a marketing strategy. Next, vaccination also has its side effects. Some say it's infertile, some say you could lose your babies, which is also infertility, and stuff like sicknesses. As we know, everything has its side effects as well. For example, the vaccines. Some vaccines are known to cause infertility and much more. AstraZeneca, for example, people who had diabetes and people who have heart sicknesses and stuff started getting bumps around their body. They started getting sick and all, but ultimately it did cure them, the vaccine. So you could say vaccination is good, even though 40% of the people in the world are still not vaccinated. This shows that people are still not willing to get themselves vaccinated, thinking about the side effects. So there could be other reasons like finances and stuff. So you never know. On the other hand, COVID is beneficial to the society. For example, before we had a pollution rate of 60%, it has dropped down to just 20% now. Starting from Wuhan in China, this is because industries were closed. So fumigation, stuff like fumigation, air pollution, much more. So decreased a lot. And as you all know, industries used to pollute the ocean as well, and corals used to get destroyed. But now, thanks to COVID, we have to thank COVID, our corals are being saved, environment is becoming better. Global warming has also decreased drastically. There are much more benefits of COVID as well. So like you can see parents spending a little time with their children now at home. Even though everyone's busy with their classes and stuff, they still get to see the parents' faces. Stuff like that. Before, parents would leave early in the morning and children would not see them until night or maybe even tomorrow. It used to be that bad. Last, I would like to talk about the long-term effects of COVID. COVID, as you know, since it's affecting everyone, no one is sure about the long-term effects. But recently, scientists decided to study on it. They did few studies and experiments, and they found out COVID can lead to long-term shortness of breath. For example, wheezing. Because COVID destroys your respiratory system. So, wheezing, fatigueness, and especially the aged people, they are getting affected a lot by this. Ultimately, in conclusion, we can say COVID has its benefits, which is very low compared to the disadvantages it holds. So I would like to tell in short, stay safe and take precautions. So in short, I would like to tell, stay safe and be at home. Think about others in the society. We are not the only ones who live in it. So if you have any symptoms, please rush over to the hospital nearby and avoid going out much, because COVID kills. Thank you.